HESI A2 blood flow through the heart. Question 1. Which option identifies the cardiac structure that prevents backflow from the left ventricle into the left atrium? Option A, chordae tendineae. Option B, pulmonary vein. Option C, epicardium. Option D, a mitral valve. The correct answer is option D, mitral valve. This cardiac structure prevents backflow from the left ventricle into the left atrium. It has two cusps supported by chordae tendineae. These linked features explain the role in directing blood through the left atrioventricular opening. Question 2. Which option identifies the cardiac structure best matching this description? It collects blood from the vena cava and coronary sinus, and it receives systemic venous blood. Option A, right atrium. Option B, aorta. Option C, interventricular septum. Option D, pulmonary artery. The correct answer is option A, right atrium. For starting passage through the right side of the heart, this cardiac structure receives systemic venous blood. It can also be recognized because it collects blood from the vena cava and coronary sinus. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 3. Which option identifies the cardiac structures best matching this description? They connect valve leaflets to papillary muscles, and they anchor atrioventricular valve cusps. Option A, chordae tendineae. Option B, pulmonary trunk. Option C, endocardium. Option D, a mitral valve. The correct answer is option A, chordae tendineae. For preventing valve inversion during systole, these cardiac structures anchor atrioventricular valve cusps. They can also be recognized because they connect valve leaflets to papillary muscles. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations.
Stressed about your NA-CCMA? We can take NA-CCMA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. Which option identifies the cardiac structure best matching this description? It is also the visceral layer of the serous pericardium, and it forms the outer layer of the heart wall. Option A, coronary artery. Option B, interventricular septum. Option C, epicardium. Option D, left atrium. The correct answer is option C, epicardium. For covering the myocardium, this cardiac structure forms the outer layer of the heart wall. It can also be recognized because it is also the visceral layer of the serous pericardium. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 5. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most directly associated with sending blood through the aorta and this function pumps oxygenated blood into systemic circulation? Option A, pulmonary vein. Option B, left ventricle. Option C, right ventricle. Option D, chordae tendineae. The correct answer is option B, left ventricle. This cardiac structure participates in sending blood through the aorta. It pumps oxygenated blood into systemic circulation, and it has the thickest myocardium among the cardiac chambers. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 6. Impairment of which cardiac structure would most directly prevent the following function? Carries blood from the right ventricle toward the lungs? Option A, pulmonary trunk. Option B, interventricular septum. Option C, epicardium. Option D, right ventricle. The correct answer is option A, pulmonary trunk. A key clue is that this cardiac structure divides into right and left pulmonary arteries. It also carries blood from the right ventricle toward the lungs. That combination is central to beginning pulmonary circulation. Question 7. A learner connects the clues, prevents backflow from the pulmonary trunk into the right ventricle and opens during ventricular ejection. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, pulmonary semilunar valve. Option B, inferior vena cava. Option C, endocardium. Option D, chordae tendineae. The correct answer is option A, pulmonary semilunar valve. The function described is that this cardiac structure prevents backflow from the pulmonary trunk into the right ventricle. A second identifying feature is that it opens during ventricular ejection. Together, the two clues explain the role in directing blood out of the right side of the heart. Question 8. Impairment of which cardiac structure would most directly prevent the following function? Lines the inner surfaces of the heart and valves. Option A, pulmonary artery. Option B, venturatrial septum. Option C, left ventricle. Option D, endocardium. The correct answer is option D, endocardium. A key clue is that this cardiac structure consists of endothelium with supporting connective tissue. It also lines the inner surfaces of the heart and valves. That combination is central to providing a smooth surface for blood flow.
Are you looking for NACCMA actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access NACCMA study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get NACCMA answer key today.
Question 9. Which option identifies the cardiac structure whose key function is, surrounds and stabilizes the heart? Option A, pericardium. Option B, papillary muscle. Option C, aorta. Option D, pulmonary vein. The correct answer is option A, pericardium. This cardiac structure surrounds and stabilizes the heart. It contains fibrous and serous components that limit friction and overfilling. These linked features explain the role in protecting the heart in the mediastinum. Question 10. A physiology item gives 2 clues. It returns oxygenated blood from the lungs, and it is an exception to the usual oxygenation pattern of veins. Which option identifies the cardiac structure? Option A, interventricular septum. Option B, pulmonary vein. Option C, chordae tendineae. Option D, aortic semilunar valve. The correct answer is option B, pulmonary vein. The role tested here involves completing pulmonary circulation. This cardiac structure returns oxygenated blood from the lungs. It can also be identified because it is an exception to the usual oxygenation pattern of veins. Question 11. Which option identifies the cardiac structure that separates the right and left atria? Option A, left atrium. Option B, coronary sinus. Option C, interatrial septum. Option D, pericardium. The correct answer is option C, interatrial septum. This cardiac structure separates the right and left atria. It contains the remnant of a fetal opening. These linked features explain the role in preventing mixing between atrial chambers. Question 12. Which option identifies the cardiac structure that prevents backflow from the aorta into the left ventricle? Option A, left atrium. Option B, superior vena cava. Option C, a myocardium. Option D, aortic semilunar valve. The correct answer is option D, aortic semilunar valve. This cardiac structure prevents backflow from the aorta into the left ventricle. It opens during ventricular ejection. These linked features explain the role in directing blood into systemic circulation. Question 13. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most important for delivering blood to pulmonary capillaries because it carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart? Option A, interventricular septum. Option B, right ventricle. Option C, coronary sinus. Option D, pulmonary artery. The correct answer is option D, pulmonary artery. A key clue is that this cardiac structure is an exception to the usual oxygenation pattern of arteries. It also carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart. That combination is central to delivering blood to pulmonary capillaries. Question 14. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most directly associated with preventing mixing between ventricular chambers in this function, separates the right and left ventricles? Option A, mitral valve. Option B, interventricular septum. Option C, inferior vena cava. Option D, coronary sinus. The correct answer is option B, interventricular septum. This cardiac structure participates in preventing mixing between ventricular chambers. It separates the right and left ventricles, and it contains part of the electrical conduction pathway. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 15. A physiology item gives 2 clues. It supplies oxygenated blood to the myocardium, and it arises near the base of the ascending aorta. Which option identifies the cardiac structure? Option A, tricuspid valve. Option B, inferior vena cava. Option C, coronary artery. Option D, aorta. The correct answer is option C, coronary artery. The role tested here involves supporting cardiac muscle metabolism. This cardiac structure supplies oxygenated blood to the myocardium. It can also be identified because it arises near the base of the ascending aorta. Question 16. Which option identifies the cardiac structure that distributes oxygenated blood to systemic arteries? Option A, pulmonary trunk. Option B, aorta. Option C, left ventricle. Option D, inferior vena cava. The correct answer is option B, aorta. This cardiac structure distributes oxygenated blood to systemic arteries. It is the largest artery in the body. These linked features explain the role in beginning systemic circulation. Question 17. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most important for completing systemic return from the lower body because it returns venous blood from structures below the diaphragm? Option A, interatrial septum. Option B, pulmonary vein. Option C, inferior vena cava. Option D, pulmonary trunk. The correct answer is option C, inferior vena cava. A key clue is that this cardiac structure empties into the right atrium. It also returns venous blood from structures below the diaphragm. That combination is central to completing systemic return from the lower body. Question 18. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most important for moving blood through circulation because it generates the force of cardiac contraction? Option A, myocardium. Option B, coronary artery. Option C, pulmonary semilunar valve. Option D, pulmonary artery. The correct answer is option A, myocardium. A key clue is that this cardiac structure is thickest in the chamber that pumps to the whole body. It also generates the force of cardiac contraction. That combination is central to moving blood through circulation.
Stressed about your NA-CCMA? We can take NA-CCMA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. Which option identifies the cardiac structure most directly associated with sending blood toward the lungs in this function, pumps blood into the pulmonary circulation? Option A, interatrial septum. Option B, right atrium. Option C, papillary muscle. Option D, right ventricle. The correct answer is option D, right ventricle. This cardiac structure participates in sending blood toward the lungs. It pumps blood into the pulmonary circulation, and it has a thinner wall than the systemic pumping chamber. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 20. Which option identifies the cardiac structure whose key function is, receives oxygenated blood from the lungs? Option A, tricuspid valve. Option B, aortic semilunar valve. Option C, left atrium. Option D, left ventricle. The correct answer is option C, left atrium. This cardiac structure receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. It collects blood from 4 pulmonary veins in most people. These linked features explain the role in starting passage through the left side of the heart. Question 21. A student is reviewing a concept involved in returning blood from the heart wall. Which option identifies the cardiac structure with this function, collects most venous blood from the myocardium? Option A, myocardium. Option B, interventricular septum. Option C, coronary artery. Option D, coronary sinus. The correct answer is option D, coronary sinus. The role tested here involves returning blood from the heart wall. This cardiac structure collects most venous blood from the myocardium. It can also be identified because it empties into the right atrium. Question 22. A learner connects the clues, prevents backflow from the right ventricle into the right atrium and has 3 cusps supported by chordae tendineae. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, tricuspid valve. Option B, interatrial septum. Option C, endocardium. Option D, interventricular septum. The correct answer is option A, tricuspid valve. The function described is that this cardiac structure prevents backflow from the right ventricle into the right atrium. A second identifying feature is that it has 3 cusps supported by chordae tendineae. Together, the 2 clues explain the role in directing blood through the right atrioventricular opening. Question 23. Which option identifies the cardiac structure that returns venous blood from structures above the diaphragm? Option A, aortic semilunar valve. Option B, coronary sinus. Option C, superior vena cava. Option D, inferior vena cava. The correct answer is option C, superior vena cava. This cardiac structure returns venous blood from structures above the diaphragm. It empties into the right atrium. These linked features explain the role in completing systemic return from the upper body. Question 24. Impairment of which cardiac structure would most directly prevent the following function? Tightens chordae during ventricular contraction? Option A, right atrium. Option B, papillary muscle. Option C, aorta. Option D, left atrium. The correct answer is option B, papillary muscle. A key clue is that this cardiac structure helps prevent atrioventricular valve prolapse. It also tightens chordae during ventricular contraction. That combination is central to maintaining 1-way flow. Question 25. Impairment of which cardiac structures would most directly prevent the following function? Anchor atrioventricular valve cusps. Option A, pulmonary trunk. Option B, chordae. Option C, endocardium. Option D, mitral valve. The correct answer is option B, chordae. A key clue is that these cardiac structures connect valve leaflets to papillary muscles. They also anchor atrioventricular valve cusps. That combination is central to preventing valve inversion during systole.